up, everybody? This is RobLive back in the studio with Jim. How we doing, Jim?
We're good, man. We're sweating up here, though.
We're sweating up here. Yeah, well, we've got somebody who's going to help us project the temperature.
You know, and he actually gave me advice before when I called him to come up here was, you know, it's going to be a little cooler that day, you know, this evening, but we're not.
So you knew.
I was like, even my wife was like saying, you know how hot it is up there? And I'm like, well, AJ said it was going to be there, so it's going to be warm. Cool.
We are referring you, friends, to the one and only chief meteorologist for KC24 of, I believe, 25, almost 30 years, Mr. AJ Fox.
Hi, how you guys doing?
We're good.
Thanks for having me.
A little warm.
And it's warm up here. I agree, but it's cooling, and you guys got the fans and evaporative coolers.
Yeah, all for the guests.
It's okay. The vinyl is a little, excuse me, a little warm.
Hey,
yeah.
what you get when you get a free couch, right? You know.
I want to say something right off the bat. AJ, when doing research, I found out you were also a DJ at some point.
Yeah.
So I've heard your voice in one form or another for over 20-something years. So when I hear you talk right now, it feels very familiar.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. I started at my first paid radio gig. I started on KFSR at Fresno State. That was my first on-air thing. That was horrible. I believe I have a cassette of some of my stuff floating around in a box somewhere. But my first gig at KFIG, 101.1 FM, they call it Y101 now, but at that time it was called KFIG, and boy, I loved doing that. That was probably, other than what I'm doing right now, it was probably my favorite job of my whole life.
See, you're jumping ahead. That's awesome because we had questions about that. The first question I'm going to throw at you has to do with KSFR, so I'm going to throw it out now. It says, ask AJ, this is from Matt Konatsu, shout out to the Sauce Crew.
Okay.
And he says, ask AJ about the importance KSFR back in the day, and if they found them supportive of the local music scene. Do you guys feel like?
Then they were. I'm not too familiar with how it goes now, other than the fact that I know that a friend of mine who is on staff there, who actually used to work with me at KFIG, and she's in charge of it, and is I'm assuming teaches the classes. I actually haven't talked to her too much, but recently. But back in the day, it used to be very supportive of local music and all local bands. It didn't matter what kind of genre you were talking about. They would get occasional airplay. Now, sometimes they were also KFSR. You know, it stands for Fresno State Radio.
Yes.
They would play. The mornings was like strictly jazz, like 100% jazz, not even like this new jazz, you know,
like 40s and 50s.
Dave Koz. I mean, it was legit, you know, Miles Davis, Thelonious Monk, big band stuff. It was deep jazz, and yeah.
What was the AJ Hour playlist? What would that look like?
It was Saturday nights, 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. was my very first one. Oh yeah, that was where they put you when they tried to discourage you from doing it. So,
okay.
So they put me on there, and they told me that I could play whatever I want, but they kind of said, here they showed a wall of records, right?
Yeah.
This is vinyl then, and they said you can play from here to here, pick whatever you want. Okay. So I did that, and then I would occasionally bring in my own music. And
I was going to say
2 o'clock in the morning, I bring in my own vinyl or something like that and play it. They never knew until they did, and then they let me go. So, but
because of that,
and but. I get the last laugh because 1 month later a job came open at KFIG, and I applied for it, and I started a couple of months after that on my first actual paid gig, because when you work for KFSR, it's free.
Yeah.
And maybe you get units. I didn't get the units. I was just strictly volunteer.
You just loved music.
I loved, and being on air was probably my absolute favorite thing to do. It was awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was there any local bands that are still together that you played back in the day?
Or
who were some of the bands that you played that were local?
Oh, that were local. I don't know that I got to play any of the local bands.
Okay.
So I remember, I was trying to think of, it was really obscure stuff. So there would be like, REM was just starting to come up, and they were getting played.
Oh, wow. What year was this?
This was 88.
So 88 is, when did you graduate from Fresno State?
I graduated from Fresno State in 93.
Okay, so like 88 to 93.
No, 88 to 88. I was only there for a couple months.
Okay.
And then I was working. I was working at KFIG. That's what I did all through college.
Oh, what a cool job.
Yeah, and so all my friends who are from college, they'll say, "Hey, remember that party and such happened?" No, I wasn't there.
You're putting in work.
I was working. I was pulling a shift. Yeah, always.
Well, you've got a very distinctive voice. I'm
Thanks.
not surprised. So I want to read off some of your credentials here because for those, we have audience here. I'm going to address you guys real quickly. Obviously, we have people from the country of Georgia. We have a few in Australia, Ireland. Thank you guys for subscribing and submitting. Our Central Valley folks will already know AJ, but for those who are following us outside, we want to read off his credentials. He's with KC24 here in the Central Valley. He is chief meteorologist, certified broadcast meteorologist, certified consulting meteorologist, originally from Anchorage, Alaska, former DJ with KFIG we talked about, and looks like guitar and vocals for Los Hooligans.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a little bit about them later, but I wanted to start with Alaska. How do you get to Central Valley from Alaska?
Well, so my dad was in the Army, and so I was born in 1969. This is Vietnam, right?
Yes.
Right at the height of that. And he was drafted and sent to Alaska. My uncle, who, not to bring it down, but he passed away 2 weeks ago. And
Sorry for your
so
loss.
yeah, thank you. But he was sent to the jungle of Vietnam.
Yes.
But my dad was sent to. I was born at Elmendorf Air Force Base, but he worked in the Army, so he was in Fort Richardson. But it's basically the same military complex right there in Anchorage. And that's where my brother was born. That's where I was born. I have no memories of Alaska because my dad hated Alaska.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And even though I went back for a couple of times on vacation,
Yeah.
and my mom went with me, he didn't want to have anything to do with it. He wouldn't go. Yeah, he's like, yeah, go ahead.
Have fun.
See you when you get back. You know.
At what age did you arrive over here on this side?
So well, they left when I was 6 months old,
Okay.
and so they moved to, and it's basically been Southern California. My parents were at my earliest memories are actually San Luis Obispo. When they were
beautiful.
They were in college,
Central Coast.
and getting their degrees together, and then we moved to Lancaster, which is in the desert.
That's quite a jump.
Yeah.
Central Coast to Lancaster.
Right. Well, that's where they got their first teaching jobs. You know,
Okay.
and so
So they were in education after.
Yeah, they were both teachers and
At the high school level or what?
all different levels. Let's see. My dad was junior high, then high school, and then he became an administrator.
Okay.
Towards the end of his career, and I think my mom was strictly high school the whole time. Yeah.
Okay. I'm very familiar with the area. My sisters live in Palmdale currently.
Yeah. My mom taught at Palmdale High School.
Oh,
Yeah.
Palmdale High.
Yeah.
Wow. I lived in Santa Clarita for 10 years, so we're kind of familiar with
Okay.
everything down to 14.
So Palmdale plays. What's the
The high schools in Santa Clarita?
Yeah.
We have Valencia, we have Golden Valley, we have Saugus.
Saugus? That's what we played.
The
Yeah.
Saugus. All right.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, we would play Saugus, and we would have. I was on the swim team. The swim meets would be at the College of the Canyons, right there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful place there. So, yeah, we're both familiar with that area.
Yep.
So then when do you migrate over to the Central Valley?
I
What
moved
time?
to Fresno to go to Fresno State, and I graduated high school in 1987. I went to Antelope Valley High School in Lancaster. Yeah.
So then now you're at Fresno State.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately, did you know I'm getting into broadcast journalism?
No, my first major was actually criminology.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
Detective, where were you
yeah,
headed?
that's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. And,
Miami Vice?
Right. Well, not Miami Vice. I just like
Crockett Tubbs, or what was the name? Crockett.
I just like I like the idea of solving mysteries and helping people, and it just seems like that was a good way to go. And I remember in my first semester, I was taking a class, and somebody came in, and he said a guy came up and asked me who was in the business, officer. I can't remember where he was from. And he says to me, he goes, so a bad guy is coming and is going to shoot your partner. Can you shoot him? And I went, he goes, this is not for you.
Wow,
And
just
he goes,
like that.
Yeah, he goes, you paused that long? No, this is not for you. Go do something else. I'm like, okay. And then having to convince my parents that I was switching to music because I had taken a guitar class from Juan Serrano. and fell in love with it. And I started playing. I had played guitar at my church and stuff, like strumming chords and stuff. But learning classical guitar with him was really connected with me. And so I changed my major to music after that.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a music major. You're playing guitar. At what point do you start to actually interact with fellow musicians in the form of a band?
Well, some of the vocalists I worked with, we would sing vocal jazz a lot. We had a group called Black Ice. And
Black Ice.
Yeah.
Is that here? That was in the Valley at that point?
Yeah. And
were you guys on the local club scene?
we did. We played
Club
it.
Fred?
We did play Club Fred.
Yeah,
And
Black
that
Ice.
was such a fun thing. People were like, "Why? What are these people? There's nothing here to set up. We just had five or six mics, and that's it.
Oh, straight vocals.
Straight vocals. It was a cappella. Yeah. The whole
Oh,
thing.
wow.
Yeah.
And any songs we would know that you guys covered?
We did like some Tommy James and the Shondells
Okay,
songs,
yeah.
some cover songs. Then some of it was a little on the jazzy side. Let's see what's.
So it's kind of like Pitch
yeah.
Perfect, the movie, before the movie came out.
Right. So when
that came out.
when my daughter said, "Hey, Dad, what do you think of this movie?" I'm like, "I've done that."
I lived it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's so impressive.
Yeah.
And you're
Other
really
than the fact that
exposed.
they just kind of walk up in the movie and they just start singing perfect, you're like, "Come on."
It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work like that, man. We're hours of getting the nope. Let's fix that note. Let's fix that note. Let's fix that note. And this just rolling in and just throwing in extra things live on stage. No, nobody does that.
And the full choreography and not out of breath.
Right. Exactly right. Exactly right.
See, I've never said this. It's funny, Jim. I'll confess now. When I'm driving up here, because I'm coming from Lemoore, right? So it's about 55 minutes, an hour, depending on traffic. I have this 10-minute vocal warm up that I use, right? And there's been times where I get dizzy and I'm about to pass out because I'm not breathing correctly.
Oh my gosh.
You know, it's kind of like the.
Okay.
know,
You're
that
supposed
kinda
to inhale occasionally.
Yes,
Don't forget to do that.
And that's what I do to warm up my voice coming up here.
my
So I
God.
know how hard.
You ever do the A-E-I-O-U? A-E-I.
No, not that one. It's more the lip things and trills and things that you wouldn't think translate well to music, but they do, right?
Yeah, yeah. You got to get everything loose. So my opera teacher at Fresno State would used to always say lips and tip of the tongue. Lips and tip of the tongue. See, I can't even do it very well right now. But it's supposed to loosen everything up.
Yeah.
Lips and tip of the tongue, right? It's all make everything movable.
It reminds me a little bit of Anchorman.
Oh,
Remember when he would
Yes.
like, now does that really happen? Because you're on
Yeah,
air.
yeah.
What's your
oh, I don't do anything like that. But
you hear other guys and
there
gals
are
out
other
there?
people that do that, and you know they'll you know, but
to get loose. But because
yeah.
you're a performer, you're loose already.
Right, but Emily and Eric, who I work with now,
Yeah.
Stephanie Brugen retired last year, and Emily took her place. But they don't do that. At least they don't do that in front of me. I don't, you know, maybe they go back and do it somewhere else, but they don't do it where I see it. So.
Okay, so we have some very basic questions about on-air personalities.
Okay.
Do you have a dressing room?
There is a dressing room.
But it's for everyone, or
Yes.
or there's the AJ Fox?
No, I don't have a personal dressing room. No.
So there's a place you guys all go prep in there, and that's if
Right.
warm-ups are going to happen, that happens there.
Right. My office is the studio that you see
Okay.
on television. There's computers right there. That's where I work. When the cameras are off, I'm still there. That's where I work all day,
Oh, okay.
every day. Yeah.
Is there a rehearsal? Because I know that you
For the news,
for
Oh.
pointing out where things are going to go, or you're doing that on the fly.
I'll do that on the fly.
Because
There was one. So there was a last week. There was talk of a tsunami,
yes,
and so we did an extra segment
yeah.
about tsunami. I had to make a graphic from scratch, and it looked terrible. But because I had like 30 minutes to get this thing together,
Yeah.
and those graphics can be kind of complicated. It looked very cartoony, but it was describing how earthquakes happen underwater and can cause a tsunami, and I had to do that one on the fly. I didn't get a chance to practice standing in front of that and pointing at it.
And just-
but,
wow.
Yeah. So that happens.
True
and so-
performance.
yeah. Yeah.
So the part that I learned a little bit about, because I've had the opportunity every now and then to go inside of a studio and kind of see behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And what I saw there was I saw a lot of reporters, on-air personalities such as yourself, actually doing their own like editing and
Yes.
typing. And I was like, wait, I thought you guys had like a guy that you or gal you go to and it's like, hey, put this tape together. Like
Yeah, there's that too, but
on the fly stuff, right? Is that what that is?
Yeah, and so an anchor is supposed to, somebody comes in and there's a story, let's say a car accident, all right? So
Yeah.
the car accident tells you where it happened, what happened, who got hurt or whatever, things like that. They'll write it. The anchor is then supposed to rewrite it, not changing any of the facts, but changing it so it sounds like something that they would say.
Yes.
Like they would talk.
Make it their own.
Yeah. Now, the difference between that and what I do is I just shoot from the hip all day. And I don't know a single weather person that reads a script.
Well, things change,
Yeah.
right?
You got to have the gift of gab. You got to
Which-
know your
which-
material.
yeah, you do.
Yeah.
But that's what you do. I mean, I tell everybody that I train that's new, I say we're reporters too, and it just so happens that the weather is our beat, and that's what we do every day. And so it's easy for us to be familiar with it because we did it yesterday. So we can talk about what happened yesterday because we did it, and we'll talk about what's happening tomorrow, and then that moves forward, and you're always familiar with it as things go forward.
Reference. Wow. So I wanted to help get an insight for our audience members who may be thinking about becoming a meteorologist. It's such a for a lot of us, it's a very on camera personality is a really like distant, far fetched thing because we see you guys every day on television. It's hard to make that transition in our brain that I can just jump, I can be there too.
Right.
So what would be the step-by-step process for someone who's interested in being an on-air personality?
Well, I would tell them first that to be prepared for a long road, because I've been there for 30 years, and it just doesn't happen overnight. I mean, it's easy to say 30 years, but it took 30 years to get there, right? So, I have known a couple other people that have taken little faster tracks to bigger markets or things like that. But just be prepared for what could potentially be a really slow go of it.
Okay.
And if you wanted to do meteorology, TV is not the only thing that you can do. I knew a guy who I know a guy who used to be on television, and now he's the main meteorologist for Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines.
Oh, cool.
Right?
Yeah.
I know other people that have gone on to work for the National Weather Service, although that's, there's budget cuts there, right? That's been making the news, and so that's an issue.
How about the Weather Channel?
Okay, so the Weather Channel, so there's some issues there too because they got bought out by Allen Media, Byron Allen, right?
Byron Allen?
Yeah, that
is
him.
rolling like that.
That's Allen Media, and
Really?
and so he, well, without knowing anything about it, it seems to me that he buys something and gets overextended, and then tries to sell it, and then tries to go back, and so he goes through these phases of growing and then contracting, and then growing and then contracting, and so he got the Weather Channel, and now people have been lately getting cut, and so
Wow.
Now, thankfully, I'm grateful for where I'm at. Nexstar, as a media company, hasn't been making major cuts like that, and being in the same spot for coming up on 30 years is relatively rare.
I was going to say.
Yeah. I mean, Stephanie Berugian had been there 42 years when she retired.
Wow.
And,
So
and
now,
sorry.
Go ahead,
She's a different conversation because she actually started out as an intern at KC.
Correct.
To where you started somewhere else. Explain to
no,
people.
this is my first television job.
Oh, this is your first one.
I've
Oh.
never had any other TV job.
Oh, so then
That's- wow.
Explain to Robert then, because I know the answer to this, but a lot of people think, why didn't you go to LA or New York or whatever? And what's generally the answer for most people?
I tried.
Oh, you did try?
Yeah, I tried.
But then there's always that, I settled down, I had kids, we just this home, and I want to stay in the Central Valley. A lot of
I did
people.
all those things too.
Yeah.
I did all those things too. So on top of that, I used to say I spent the first half of my career trying to leave Fresno, right? Trying to go to bigger market, right?
Yeah.
Because bigger market, more money. It certainly was then. It's not as much of that anymore. You could go to LA and maybe they'll pay you $100,000, right? But $100,000 in LA, or certainly $100,000 in San Francisco.
It's like minimum wage.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's
it's
crazy.
not much at all.
Wow.
You can do that here in Fresno and go much further here in the city of Fresno. Well, as my life progressed, I started teaching at City College, at Fresno City College.
Oh,
I
okay.
still teach at Ridley College.
Oh,
And
you're
so
a Tiger. Nice.
Yeah, it's
One of
in
my
the
favorite schools.
It's in the same district. So I've worked for the State Center Community College District since 2002. And
What's your classes that you teach there?
I teach geography. They're weather classes. Yeah.
You know how cool it is to have someone in the business.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
As your instructor, that happened to me one time, and I got a straight A
Who'd
in
you
the
have?
class. This was at Menlo College out in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And he was a music executive teaching a music industry club course.
Okay.
And because he was working in the industry, it just carried so much more weight with us. And I
Yeah.
really responded to him. I can imagine you in class with your students, then they go home and watch the news, and there you are.
Right.
The credibility is instant.
More and more, that's diminishing because people are not watching television the way they used to. It's not that they're not watching anything; they're just watching other things, like this, right? Because
Yeah.
you can click on this at any time.
Yeah.
Right now when we're taping it, it's Sunday afternoon at what is it, 6:30 or something like
Yeah.
that right now, maybe it's Wednesday or Thursday when they're watching it in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. It's not like that anymore. It's not like appointment television where you would show up Thursday night at 8:00 to watch what was on NBC,
Yes,
right? Or
yeah.
Thursday night at 9, Seinfeld, whatever.
Or
Well,
when
and if it was live, you need to make sure how you phrase your comments to know that that's post-stated,
Right.
past tense, present tense. You
Yes.
had to write it, and that's actually one of the things that I always would envy writers or reporters is they'd be like, "Oh, I need to write it that it had happened or it's going to happen or
Right.
whatever." So
Right.
It's
and
like
and you don't
Saturday
want to
morning-
say yesterday,
Oh, yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
don't want to say it happened yesterday because then if your story airs tomorrow, it wasn't yesterday, it was the day before.
Yeah.
And so you have to say things like it happened on Tuesday or it happened on Thursday night or something like that. And so
it's like, "Oh, you're late
yeah.
to the story. You said it happened yesterday. Where were you at yesterday?"
When you guys are mentioning, this type of schedule type TV, it reminds me of Saturday morning cartoons.
Right.
And there was something called, younger folks, there's this thing called the TV Guide. And you could thumb through it, and it would show the channel and what was showing. I would have a highlighter on Friday night, and I would highlight my schedule for cartoon watching and what channel to switch over to. It was
Right.
the whole thing.
And
Look-
then you tune in and there's some tennis match on instead.
You're
Oh, that always made me
Then
so
you're
mad.
fact checking. You're going through the book saying it's wrong. It's wrong.
Yep,
Why is that
yep,
tennis match
yep,
on?
Yep.
We're going to go to some questions here. I'm going to start with let's go with the Facebook questions first. And we posted on Facebook today and said, anyone who would like to ask AJ Fox a question, please post their question. And so I have a list here. Let me pull them up. And, Jim, the Wi-Fi up here is get way better now. Awesome.
All right.
This one comes from Stacy
Xfinity
Davis
Boost.
Jones.
Brought to you by
Stacy
Same-
Davis Jones
Okay.
says, what are your thoughts on cloud seeding and how it affects your job? Can you define it first? Because I don't know.
Yeah, cloud seeding. So it is a process by which you add a chemical to an existing cloud to get it to squeeze out all the available moisture, right? So some folks mistakenly think that cloud seeding is making rain out of nothing. You can't do that's not possible. The cloud has to be there. It has to be thick enough, and it's probably already producing rain or, in this case, snow. So PG&E, for example, pays a group of people to fly up into the Sierra Nevada and put these chemicals into the clouds that cause they're cold enough to be ice crystals to conglomerate or coagulate or whatever they freeze, and causes more snow to fall in an area than somewhere else. Sorry for that one, boom, for you people at home.
See, because he's on TV. He's the only one noticed that. Anyone else just keeps talking.
Right. So it puts more snow, and they send their airplanes to make the snow fall
What the-
where it will melt to go into their reservoir.
Wow.
Right. So they wanted the snow to fall in their catchments where the water will then go into Shaver Lake, for example, or Huntington Lake. So that, in fact, one of those that I mentioned is PG&E. The other one's Southern California Edison, and they pay people to do that. And the chemical is called silver iodide, and it's it's something that they discovered in the 50s when they were trying to figure out how to de-ice airplanes. And the guys were, they stumbled on it, like all great discoveries. They stumbled on it by accident. And it's the three guys that discovered it were Irving Langmuir, Vincent Schaefer, Irving Langmuir, and Bernard Vonnegut. And Vonnegut, if that name sounds familiar, Kurt Vonnegut is his brother.
Talented family.
Yeah, no, Bernie was a Nobel Prize winning chemist.
Oh my God.
But the other guy was the artist, right? The musician, right? So
can you imagine their parents at dinner?
Yeah.
Well, my two boys.
So the book Cat's Cradle was based on this discovery.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this sounds like a sci-fi film, right?
Yeah, it is. It's legit. And so they discovered this and found out about it, and it has turned into cloud seeding. And I know that right now there was a lot of flooding that happened in Texas, and they were trying to blame cloud seeding on this. No, it's garbage.
No,
that's
garbage.
That's not true. Yeah.
Okay, you guys heard it here. P2 Muriel is asking, this summer so far has not been as hot as summers in past years.
Amen.
Does that mean we're getting a colder than usual winter this year?
No idea.
No idea.
Straight up.
Yeah.
I like that.
I was pretty good last year because if you remember last summer, we had this long stretch of 105s. We broke a record this is just talking about the city of Fresno. Fresno had a 105-degree day in October, which was the hottest it had ever been in the month of October. It was the latest 105 we'd ever had. It wasn't the latest triple digit we'd ever had. I think the record for that's like October 14th or something, and this was like on the first week of October.
Yes.
And I lost $1 bet on it too, because at the end of September we had a stretch of 90s, and I said, yeah, that's it for triple digits. And Emily goes, nah, I bet we got one more in there. And not only was it triple digits, but it was 105, so I had to pay the $1 back.
Yeah.
And
So why do people think that it just gets pushed into a later month of our season?
I don't know why people think that, because there's no way to know whether or not that would be. Yeah. Now, what I did say that summer, they said, is next summer going to be that bad? I said, there's no way it can be that bad because it's really bad. Yeah. And I said, next summer will be milder. I didn't know it was going to be this mild, and it's been very mild.
Okay, yeah, that's what I felt.
But I knew that we weren't going to have as bad. And then if we had two in a row, that would have been extraordinary. And that would have been the story. 2 bad summers in a row. Right, the Earth's on fire.
I do remember the kids telling me this last week. They were saying, "Oh my gosh, remember last summer we were inside? It was 110
Yes, I remember that.
for a week straight. Give or take 9, 8, 10, 12, 9, whatever." And this year, like, high 90s. We could deal with that.
I think don't quote me on this, but I think we broke a stretch. This is, again, just for Fresno, for a stretch of 105-degree days consecutive. Yeah, but and then the latest one. That's the one that made me mad. That's the one I lost money on.
So we have
$1. Yeah,
$1.
That's an important dollar.
Yeah.
Mac Ralph Cisneros from the Sauce Crew is saying, if AJ wasn't a weatherman, what would have been his other career choice?
I probably would have been. Well, I also teach, so and I'm not to brag, but I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah,
I enjoy doing that. I'm teaching full time now, also at Fresno State. That's in person. I still teach at Reedley College, but it's all online and stuff. So that's kind of where my skill set's at.
And your parents were both educators.
Yeah.
So okay.
Grandma too, uncle, cousins.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, it says here.
Family of teachers.
Family of teachers. I love that. What does AJ Fox do when he's not on camera? Hobbies, interests?
Well, I'm teaching a lot. Like I said, I technically have 3 full-time jobs. And then I also do radio part-time.
For which station are you at now?
It's the Grappetti Automotive Group. They own a bunch of radio stations down in Tulare. So it's
okay.
Jug, K-Jug, My 97, is that right? So there's a group of 4 radio stations where I send them a recording of my forecast for the morning and another one at night. and it's just I record it on my computer and I put it in a Dropbox.
I
So
love
they pick it up.
technology
Yeah.
that can do all that now.
Yeah, and it airs on all their stations. So I say stuff generically, and then they have different voices for different radio stations. Say the weather with AJ Fox is brought to you by,
Yeah.
and then they make their money, and I make a little extra,
Sweet.
and everybody's happy.
And Rob, he's not actually saying it yet, but he's fluent in Espanol.
Yeah,
right,
yeah, no,
habla
no,
español
sí, puedo
también.
hablar el idioma. Yeah, sí. Yeah.
Wow, vamos a hacer una entrevista en español en el
Oh.
futuro.
No,
So-
hice el pronóstico cada día.
cada día estás
Sí,
hablando
cada día en
español.
la internet, en mi Facebook y
wow.
en nuestra website. ¿Cómo se dice website? Website? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
This is website, yeah.
Yeah, we just got a whole different group of viewers for that.
Yeah, si tocaron el canal punto SAP, the SAP button, if you just push that, that's what just happened.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so let's get to this.
But
Because,
if you think about, actually, I want to
Yeah,
stay
go
on
ahead.
that for a moment.
yeah.
For the local Spanish TV stations, Telemundo and Univision, their weather person is not in Fresno. It's from somewhere else. One is from
Really?
Sacramento. The other one, I think, is from Houston.
Is that a common practice or?
I don't know about common.
When
but-
I was in Univision in Sacramento, our weather person was in LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
Have
maybe
they
that's
ever
it,
had
yeah.
anyone in?
We did have some.
AJ Fox right here.
Well,
Yeah.
well, I was in Sacramento, but at the
But
time,
yeah, I get to brag that the only person that's doing Central Valley forecast in Spanish that lives here is me.
That is
right
awesome.
there you go.
Can we get a round of applause for that?
That's sweet, yeah. So, but yeah, that was kind of trippy when I was at Univision. Was I would have to edit out. I would have to edit that part and
Yeah.
put it into their segment, and then they
Okay.
would queue up the weather from whoever it was at the time, and sometimes it was from Cuba. Sometimes they did it from in Florida, and they would have a Cuban.
Oh, my gosh.
over there. So yeah, interesting.
Now, one of my best friends is I wonder if it's her. Her name's Irene Sands. She's a meteorologist, and she's not from Cuba. She's from Venezuela, but she works in Florida now, and is still on air, and also working for an app called My Radar, which if you're not
Yeah,
familiar
no,
with that,
I've heard that one.
that's the one I have on my phone.
Okay, sweet. So it says the next question we had here was, what was the most difficult or impactful weather report that you had to deliver? And what we mean by that is, like, say, for example, the Texas, there was the floods happening.
Right.
Someone
Right.
had to say on air that you guys need to evacuate. That's a
Right.
pretty traumatic delivery. Earthquake or
Well, yeah, no, they had the earthquake one, but I know they look at me because I'm the science guy.
Yeah.
Right. But that's not my it's not my area of expertise. Even though that's they were looking for me to. I take that back. It is my area of expertise, but I'm generally a meteorologist, which is air only, not ground stuff. That's a geologist
Okay.
job. I have a master's degree in what's called geosciences, which is a little bit of everything. And so it was just basically enough to explain what was happening and why.
tornadoes. We had tornadoes. here?
We've had tornadoes. We've had tornadoes.
What's-
There was a couple of last year. We had some tornadoes on the ground right by Berenda, which is just a little bit north of where we are today. It's in Madera County, right along Highway 99.
Where
And-
Berenda is a town?
It's a wide spot on 99.
Oh, okay.
There is a Berenda Elementary School.
Okay.
And the tornado hit their campus. And
Oh,
actually,
wow.
little minor damage, but there was enough that there was a warning, a tornado warning, issued by the National Weather Service, and we actually got video of it, which is becoming easier to do because
Yeah.
everybody's carrying a camera now, so it's a lot
Oh.
easier. So when people
Yeah,
say, "Are
it's-
we getting more tornadoes?" I'm like, "No, we're getting more videos of tornadoes."
The same one.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting, Jim. I don't know if you've ever lived in a town like this, because I don't know if Rosie Cutler does this. But when it comes to like warnings, right? In the city of Reedley, if you're there at noon on any day of the week, right? At noon, you hear the
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now, prior to the movie The Purge, didn't mean much. But so if you don't live there, and I happened to be there about 2 Saturdays ago, and we had a workshop for the Latino Leadership Academy, and we were all sitting in the room. And I'm Reedley. I lived there for a little while. Everyone else is from out of town except for me, the instructor, and another guy. and there was about 30 of us, and then the siren goes off at noon, and they're all like,
What?
is it tornado, bomb shelter? Like, right? And I'm
Yeah.
watching all the body language. Is that happen anywhere else in the valley, or is that a Reedley thing?
No, I have a side story to that. When I used to teach at Sierra High School, and that high school was almost 100 years old, and so we had different gyms, and one of the original gyms had a siren on there, and so being an activities director, I was like, "What is that? Does that work?" You know, it's been that's been years. They haven't touched that. Well, my custodian guys went up there and they're like, "Hey James, we got it to work," and I go, "Seriously?" And I go, "Hey, let's have that thing go off when the football players run in and they run in through the tunnel and everything."
What a cool idea.
Seriously, it was so happening. The school got phone calls.
Oh.
What is going on? And I was like thinking, can you imagine an 80-year-old Edna and Luis are watching the news, and all of a sudden that thing goes off, and they hadn't heard that in decades, So yeah, it
The
was
last
like
time it was for a bomb.
under a real bomb.
Right?
Get in
Yeah.
your shelter.
Oh, my God.
Duck and cover. Yeah.
Right.
So, but it was really cool.
Did the crowd respond?
Oh,
well?
they loved it. Everyone loved it.
Did
But
they know it was coming? The football
No,
players.
no one knew. No, I was all about surprises.
You were,
so.
yeah, dude, you're amazing at ASB. I wish you were at my school. Here's some questions from Eddie Valero, Tulare County Supervisor, has sent me some questions.
Okay.
First one is, what's been the most interesting location for your On the Map segment? Or which community has been the most surprising to you?
By the way, I'm really happy he's doing that. I love that. So.
I love them too. It's man, it's fantastic to do those.
I guess
And,
we should explain On the Map first, right? How would you
So
describe
On the
it?
Map is a story that airs once a week that I do, and it's not my original format. Bob Long, who was a reporter
Yeah, Bob Long.
and anchor, and he was even our news director for a time. He had worked there for 35 years before he retired, and he's since passed away. But I remember when he retired, I was working with him. He was on the midday news, and I was doing weather on midday, and he was retiring after 35 years, and I wasn't 35. And I was like, oh my God,
You've been here longer than I've been
and so
alive.
I've been getting occasionally more. It's happening to me more and more. I've been watching you my whole life, but he had been there my whole life, and he had hundreds of those stories. And the plot is basically, how did a city get its name? Right? What is the circumstance that gave this city its name?
Okay.
And there's a lot of communities. He had hundreds. Oh, yeah, they're showing one. There's a ton of
Blackjack,
them.
Conejo,
Right? So,
Kingsburg.
Blackjack is a fun one. That was because of the Lockman and Jacoby winery that makes E&J brandy.
Oh.
Right? And it's right
E&J's
there by
from the valley. Wow.
yeah, and so it's called Blackjack, right? And that's actually the name of a street nearby. But it's right over there also by, you could throw a rock from Reedley and hit it. And the place still makes that same brandy and has all the same stuff. It's bought out. It got bought out by another distillery, but that's where, if it's E&J brandy, that's where it's from.
That's really cool to know. Blackjack.
Yeah, so but he started doing those stories. I have about 30 of his, and occasionally I can integrate some of his sound bites into mine, which I love doing.
Yeah.
I love bringing those back.
Do you have one memorable that you?
My favorite story. In fact, I'll tell you the whole story if that's okay. But you can find this on our website. It has a map too with all of the done stories, so you can click on the map to find.
Oh, we're gonna we're gonna put that link.
The
in
link
the
that then
description.
puts up the story.
Wow.
And so my favorite story goes like this. Al Yarborough is a guy that was a rancher up in Fresno County in the foothills, and at the time a bear was coming in and picking off his cattle and sheep from time to time. So back then, this is like 1850s or 1860s. It was like after Gold Rush time. And California didn't care if you go shoot a bear. Go get him. Yeah, go ahead. So he just took his dog up into the hills. He's going up to kill this bear that's been picking off his cattle. So he goes down to this. It goes up higher into the mountains, hunting this bear. Finds this creek, and he puts his gun down and walks over to the water to fill up his canteen or something like that. And looks up, bear. right?
There it is.
But his gun is he laid it down over here, and the bear charges him.
It's a nightmare.
The dog gets in between and stares down the bear and stops the bear from charging. Al runs over to get his gun, shoots the bear, but the dog did not survive the encounter.
Oh, man.
Right? So the hero dog saved Al's life.
Wow.
And so he named the creek that he had never seen before after his heroic dog. And the dog's name is Dinky.
Oh, Dinky Creek.
And that's how Dinky Creek came to be on the map of Fresno County. Yeah.
I love that.
Wow, those are.
That's my
aren't
favorite
those?
story.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Now, the weird one,
Yeah.
and you're going to have to wait for this one because I've edited it, and it's in, I'm done with it. It's in the can.
Yeah.
Ooh, RobLive exclusive.
Right? It is, and it's going to air the day before Halloween because
Already
it's
loving it.
It's a horror story.
Oh, jeez.
I'm in.
about
I'm
Here we
sold.
go.
about what's a creature called a wolf ape. That
ape.
is a body of a mangy, emaciated, ratty dog thing, matted fur and stuff, but a face of a baboon. And these guys come upon this creature in the place, right? I'll save the name because I want people to watch it.
Oh, okay.
And I guess what they did was, when it came upon them in a cemetery up in the hills, they kind of freaked out and threw whatever they had at them. The only thing they had was cinnamon gum.
Cinnamon gum.
Big red. They
Yeah.
threw big red at it, and they became interested in it. So they got away, and then I guess somebody else comes up in a truck, and they're like, oh, help, and they got in the truck, and then they saw this thing sniffing around out there, and then the creature went away.
Oh, my.
Yeah. So they threw big red at it. So Josh Dean, who is my partner who shoots him with us, shoots these stories. He goes, you got to do this. Now, I never saw the movie, Talladega Nights.
Oh, okay.
I guess Ricky
Yeah.
Bobby does a Big Red commercial in the movie.
He does.
And he goes, if you don't shoot Big Red, well, and then he says something. And I taped something to emulate this Ricky Bobby thing. It didn't make the story. Don't look for it. Don't look for it in the
okay.
story.
That'd be great.
I couldn't make it work.
I know. Wasn't that your nickname for a little while?
Yeah, my nickname was Big Red for a while when I had red hair.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Before
Yeah,
the
no,
bald
red
days.
hair.
Yeah, so no, but it's interesting because these stories make the job fun. These
Yeah.
type of things. When I worked with Paul Leffler doing the stories of service,
I love it. Yes.
Those were just
Yeah.
phenomenal. He would talk to. Not everyone has a story, but in his eyes, he would find the chef had a story in the military,
Right.
working behind the scenes and whatever happened. And so when Bob Long, rest his soul, him and Earl Bradley was
Yeah.
his photographer. And I really appreciate the loyalty you guys do with your cameraman behind the
Right.
scenes. Bob Long would always say, and with Earl Bradley behind the camera, I'm Bob Long.
Yeah, those are the things that I stole from him. I mean, from
Yeah.
Bob, is that
Yeah.
we the phrase, the introductions always have on the map, and we always talk about Dinky Creek on the map of Fresno County. There's just these cadences that always show up
Yeah.
in the story, and then always a shout out to camera at the end. And
That's
so,
really cool.
It was
But-
very respectful. Yeah.
yeah, but on top of that, Josh is spectacular to work with. The first person I worked with was Emily Lucas, and she's fantastic also, but she's moved on and she lives in San Diego and stuff, and Josh is just as fantastic, but he and I are on the same page. We were in Toll House, right? And we were getting ready to shoot the story for Toll House, and I said, oh, I have an idea. And Josh goes, we're doing it. And I goes, I haven't said anything. And he goes, if you're going to act like that, we're doing it. and what ended up happening was, if you look at the story, Toll House was literally a toll house, right? There was a road and you had to pay a toll. Toll house. Right?
Yeah.
They would do a race with cars. It was a timed race because the road was so skinny you could only go one at a time. And they would go to the top, and whoever would win the race their car maker would brag about winning the race. Well, I found video of this race, old film from the
Wow.
Library of Congress. And what I did was there's a gas station right there, and then a building where they sometimes it's big wide spot on the side of the building where they sometimes show movies, and people just set up lawn chairs in the parking lot.
That.
Yeah, and so I stand there. We just took the wide shot, and then we superimposed the old Library of Congress film on top of it.
Very
yeah.
cool.
And so just those types of fun little things.
I'm watching those tonight. I'm going to go that.
Yeah, and now I've worked with. I worked with Emily for a while, and then I worked with a couple other people before Josh got to start working with me. And one person that doesn't work with us anymore, name redacted, just didn't want to do anything fun or creative. I was like, yeah, we're not.
You know,
I'm not working
Do
with
we have
you
that
next time.
wonk wonk?
Yeah.
Do we have
I
that
don't
one?
I don't, yeah, so,
Yeah.
so I know spot here. So it's funny that he's saying that because when I was there, I worked in the undercover investigative stories with Rebecca Lindstrom.
Okay.
And we did back we did On Your Side at 47, and then when we merged with 24, we started doing
Right.
some other things, but then she left. But yeah, I think it says a lot about the product you put together when you do. I mean, I know it's you and Josh, and you've been with him how long now?
Oh, well, he worked with me and then went away and then came back. So got 100 and we're going on 200 stories. And
Oh, yeah.
he's done more
Yeah.
than half of them. Yeah.
You just build that relationship with that person,
Yeah.
and you click, and like Rebecca had signals that she would, when I'm starting to do something, she would just touch my shoulder, and it meant roll, because she's going to start interviewing, and my camera wasn't even on the tripod yet. We're trying to get them to just act natural, and when the camera goes up on the tripod, they get stiff. They get, kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
now we're ready for. But what the best footage or audio that we actually had
Right.
was them in a relaxed state, just having a conversation, and we would use that later. Now, some people would say,
Yeah.
"Well, did they know you were being recorded?" Yeah, they knew. We were all in it. We were in there.
Yeah.
Everything was being set up.
Yeah.
I was just rolling with the cue of her touching my shoulder. But those connections, those little, makes
Nuances.
the bonding of that, and then the story just comes out so much more nicer.
And the idea that you have a team of people. It doesn't have to be if it's two or more, right? As long as you guys have the same goal in mind of what you're trying to create. The different creativity, because I gave you the story of how I had an idea and we wanted to do that. Josh delivers just as many creative ideas, and sometimes he doesn't even tell me what he's doing. When he's doing something on a jib, and every time we come in with a new piece of equipment, and like, wow, we wish we would have had that one on the last story. Where like we have new microphones now that we're using, and a new camera. It's not even, remember those wonky old things that you used to carry on your shoulder?
Yeah, I have them over there.
Yeah.
They're on
Right?
the floor over there. Yeah.
Yeah, collecting dust,
Yeah.
like they ought to be. We have one that looks much more like a photography camera, but it does everything that a video camera does, and we record now the thing. And this saved us because the microphones that we use now record audio on the microphone itself. It's got a USB port that you could plug into and pull an MP3 off, and I just press record on it.
Yep.
And so we double up on the audio because sending the signal back to the camera occasionally gets staticky.
Or you haven't actually started rolling on the camera to record the audio that you wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
You could just hit
Yeah.
record on the microphone, and it's already
Yeah.
recording, and you could add it later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh is usually very good about. I usually have more. We have more than I need to make the stories
Wow.
happen.
Which
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You always want to have
What's
more.
Josh's last name?
Dean.
Shout out to Josh Dean.
Yeah.
Thank you for the wonderful work you're doing here with AJ. This other question, I wrote this one in. Have you ever had a chance to cover my hometown of London, California?
No, but it's on the list.
Oh, is it? And Stratford. Is Stratford?
Stratford, I've done.
Okay, I'm going to
Yeah.
look at the Stratford one. We're going to have to post that
Now,
one.
Stratford's funny because that was one that I did with Emily. That was one of the first ones I did. Probably maybe the second or third shoot that we went out on. Because what I would do is we would go to a bunch of towns, and we would go to a bunch of towns on a single road, right?
Yeah.
And we go to one town and then drive 5 minutes to the next town, and then drive 5
Oh,
minutes
yeah.
to the next town.
Most
the
efficient.
day I did Reedley was the same day I did Lackjack. Was the same day I did Pixley. It was the same day I did Orange Cove. Right,
Orange
because they're
Cove.
all right there in that same area.
Yeah.
Right, and so you go out and shoot 5, 6. My record is 12
At a time.
in a single day. Yeah.
So I could picture like Lemoore, Stratford, Kettleman is what I would. Off the 41.
So let's see. That day, we went out to Stratford, and Lemoore was our last one on the day.
Oh, okay.
Because we also did Hanford and Armona.
I can't wait I'm going to look at all these. These are awesome.
Yeah,
And-
but Stratford had one because one of the points of the story was Stratford didn't have a gas station.
Oh, okay.
Have you been out there lately?
Yeah,
They have a
doc-
gas station now.
We're doing a documentary on Stratford right now.
Yeah. So I had to do a little addendum.
Yeah.
But I grew a beard in that time.
Oh,
So I got a clean shaven story, and then there's a bit where I walk by like the old Batman movie where the Joker moves the video to the side.
Yeah.
Remember that from the 1989 Batman movie? And I pushed the video aside and wait.
creative.
Now they have a gas station. Guess what?
Yes.
I had to add a little
update.
addendum to it. Yeah.
Nice. I love that those two are on the list.
Yeah.
This other question again from Eddie Valero. Do you ever get nervous or stage fright? And if so, how do you navigate that to overcome your emotions?
Not like other people would, or to the degree that other people do. Sometimes people just stick a microphone in somebody's face and they just clam up.
Yeah.
Right. That never happens to me. Yes, I can get nervous, especially when I'm trying something new,
I see.
something very new, and it's live. It's new and recorded. Well, let's try it. We'll try it again. Well, that didn't work. Let's do it again. That's fine. But something that, so this tsunami thing, that made me a little nervous. But I had to just do my best.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Do you get more nervous on a stage doing the musical stuff compared to on air and television? Because you have an actual live audience when you're doing the music.
No. I know that to other people.
So being on TV has probably helped that fear go away.
Well, you know what?
stage.
I don't want it to sound like I'm bragging, but I don't know how I'm going to avoid
Some
it.
people have a natural.
I don't have that fear.
Yeah.
If you say public speaking to some people, some people who are watching right now, I say public speaking to them, their palms start sweating.
Yeah, Rob, you speak public speaking and you don't get nervous at all?
Sometimes it depends on how familiar I am. Like if it's my first time presenting that topic,
Yeah.
a little bit more.
Preparation helps
Big time,
a lot, but I don't have any problem.
Wow, that's
going
a gift.
to an event and they say we don't have anything. No problem. I'll take care of it.
Well, because the weather, right?
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah,
be on the
you shoot from the hip and
You're
so,
like an improv.
yeah,
Yeah,
actor.
it's
That's
all
kind of it.
almost improv. There's
Wow,
there's
that
no
is
script.
cool.
There's nothing. He has
Right.
bullet points in his brain, and he just kind of goes down
That's
the
it.
list.
If I have bullet points, you say if you give me some bullet points, I can do it. It's
That is-
no problem.
that is
at all.
awesome.
Yeah.
This next one is, what is your daily mantra that you live by and why?
My mantra is Proverbs 16:3. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. And
I love that.
yeah,
man.
those are the words. Those are the words that I live by.
There's our bumper sticker right there.
Yeah.
We have a bumper sticker from every person that's been on our show that they
okay.
say a quote for some reason.
That's a gem.
Yeah.
And we need to have
I
a
love that
board
verse.
with
But
all those
see,
quotes.
so the point being, so I'm a born again Christian, and my entire attitude is that if you just give it over to God, it's going to happen the way it's supposed to happen. And it may not be the way you planned. It may
Amen.
not be the way you hoped, but it's going to get there, and it's going to be positive. Yeah, it's going to be a positive
That one was
outcome.
for me today.
Oh,
I
is
was
it?
in church this morning, and,
Yeah.
and I had some people praying over me. And I think I told Jim a little bit about this. I've had some stress dreams lately and just some mental struggles with, again,
Yeah.
how's it going to turn out? How's it going to go? What's going to be? So thank you for sharing
Yeah,
that.
you don't have to worry about that. You're alive now. Where we are right now, we're in a good place. Even though, okay, we were talking about how warm it is in this room right now. It's actually, I don't know if you've noticed, it's gotten more comfortable
It
over
has,
time.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, it has.
Is the temperatures are cooling off, but even if it didn't, how many people would trade their situations for ours instantaneously? There's
Yeah.
probably a lot of people
Yeah.
that would wish, no matter what you think is going wrong in your life, somebody else probably wants what you have.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
That one was for me. That one's Eddie asked that question,
Yeah.
but I think the Lord was giving that one to me here. What's your number one piece of advice for those who want to be in front of the camera or do something similar?
Grow thick skin.
Thick skin.
Grow thick skin, because as much as in my life, especially these days, anybody that wants to, say hi to me, it's generally very benign. It's always, hi, we watch you, we love, we watch you, you're great,
Yeah.
or even if somebody wants to tease me and they're like, oh, hey, nice forecast,
It rained yesterday.
wow, yeah. that happens too, and it's all in fun. It's all
Yeah.
in good fun.
Hey, your numbers were a little off.
I know, exactly.
Right?
I know
Yeah.
you said 100. It was 99.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So yeah, there's a little bit of that. But in the beginning, when nobody knows who you are, there's a ton of people who are going to tell you you're garbage. One of our general managers told me that I have no future in television.
Wow.
Yeah. No, but he wasn't talking about my life. He was talking about his own, because he doesn't work in television anymore.
Wow.
Yeah. So be careful about how you treat other people, right? Because that kind of stuff, like I said, I'm a born again Christian, but the word is karma, right? It comes back on you, whatever you end up giving out. And I've seen it happen in good ways and bad.
And I'm going to do a sidebar on that, because we're all now educators. And
Right.
so you almost have to have that thick skin when you deal with these new kids that come into your classroom. And I mean, we got a week left. We're coming back.
Yeah.
And it's like you start getting that anxiety of like, oh, who's going to be who's going to be that kid? At least you're
I didn't have that.
I do all the time, but at least you're teaching college kids, right? So
Yeah.
at least but I'm sure that they have little shits in there too. But still, I think
Are we allowed to say that?
yeah, whatever. So I'm like, but my thing is, it's our show. So
Okay. All right.
yeah, but my thing is like, I gotta have this thick skin. I mean, you literally could be ripped, because I've said this in my classroom where you'll have, and I've seen this in my career. The same family is waving you down, cheering on their football player, high-fiving you. Did you get that? Oh my God, that was my son, or whatever. And then a month later, God forbid, something happened to their family, and now you're covering a story on the sidewalk in front of their house, and they're saying, "Get the hell out of my." So now you just saw them in a prime moment, but now you're all of a sudden seeing them in a hostile moment, and they don't want nothing to do with the camera. And so you have to have that thick skin to deal with, like, look, I got to do my job. I got to do this. It's so
And social media, right?
it
can be a
it'll
keyboard.
rip you
yeah.
rip you to shreds.
I don't spend any time reading stuff on social media. I made the mistake of there was a topic that came up on cloud seeding, and I said what I told you guys, that the floods are not caused by cloud seeding. There's no evidence that points to it. And oh my gosh, there was a string that thing came after, and I looked at one or two of them. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Never mind. Let's get away from this. But the venom that comes out almost immediately, and it's don't poison your own mind with it. Just stay away.
Thank you for that advice.
I put my stuff on there. I put my weather stuff on there. I put
Yeah.
my on the map stories on there. I check who's having a birthday. I say happy birthday, and I'm out. That's it. I mean, if it doesn't show up in the first two things, I don't doom scroll anymore.
Doom scroll.
Yeah.
I've never heard that term, but I know exactly what it means.
No, that's what they call it. You're just sitting there and scrolling through doom scrolling. We're getting back to school. I used to be like that. Oh, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? I don't care anymore. I'm not going to be mean.
But it's different with college, though, because they're paying for their degree.
That's true. That's true. But every semester, I generally will get one, but I don't spend any time getting worked up about it. I'm very strict about deadlines. And I go back to what I do for a living. I'm a newscaster, right? What time does the 5 o'clock news start?
We're on the same page,
Right?
Dude.
Yep. Nobody ever goes, oh, it's 5:07, time for the 5 o'clock news. It doesn't happen that way. Mm-hmm. It's at 5, and we start the same time every day. And I had already turned in my grades. Every semester, I turn in my grades, and then the next day or 2 days later, somebody will, I missed the final. Can I take it? I'm like, sorry, grades are in. And
It's a tough lesson.
yeah. And it's all through the syllabus. I don't accept late work. The stuff is open, for you to turn in early. It's open weeks in advance. The deadlines are listed for the entire semester, every assignment for the whole semester. From day one what they are. I don't spend any time getting worked up about it.
It is what
and
it
I
is.
don't spend any time debating people about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Healthy approach.
Yeah.
I want to get to some of the fun stuff here. And then this
Okay.
it's funny. He's like, right, you've done this job for 29 years, right? Almost 30?
On August 28th will be my actual 30-year anniversary, and I'm throwing out the first pitch at the Grizzlies game.
Oh,
that
we're
day.
going.
Yeah.
What's the date on that?
The 28th. It's a Thursday. Yeah.
Thursday, the 28th of
August.
August.
Yeah.
This month, we will see AJ Fox on the mound.
I had
with
to
the
go.
first pitch.
I had to go buy a baseball because I didn't have one because I want
you want-
to practice a few
I was
times
wondering if
because I
people
don't want to
practice.
throw it out there or just roll it in or
throw
something.
throw an arm out or
Right.
Or
I
have
want
you
to make
seen-
sure that I can make the distance.
Yeah.
That's
You don't
all.
want to go viral. Have you seen the guy who's viral where he's on the mound and the pitch is so far off to the right? There's this poor cameraman who's focused here, and he takes one to the groin.
Oh,
Have you seen that one?
no.
You've seen it, right?
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
so yeah, AJ,
No.
cameraman, you'll be safe with AJ. He's
I
practicing.
just want to be respectable, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to have any heat on it.
Yeah.
But I want to get it. I want to get it all the way to the catcher.
Yeah.
And not hit the ground.
Did you play any sports growing up?
I was a swimmer.
Swimmer, okay.
I didn't. I didn't do competitive sports that were games. That were just racing. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I want to talk about the Hooligans.
Okay.
The first question that I had here for the
Los
Hooligans
Hooligans.
is, what is your current relationship with music? Are you guys
Well-
together still?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because we've checked the website.
So Los Hooligans is a ska band, and I know you guys had Let's Go Bowling on this
Yes.
show, it's we're coming back this fall, and
Okay.
we're going to be playing in town in Fresno, probably Howlin' Wolf or
you have
maybe
any
Fulton
dates
55.
set yet or not
No
yet?
dates set
So
yet.
just
but,
check the
but
website?
we're check
We're
the
gonna add the
website.
website to the description.
And I will excuse me. I'll post on my own stuff whenever that comes out. Yeah.
Okay, so it's funny, like you did this 29, 30 years. Guess where I spent most of my time? I spent like 80% of my research on the Hooligans because
Yeah.
I got caught up on the Hooligans and I was like, oh, I like this. There's a lot happening.
It's
and there's
fun band.
There's a jazz element to it.
Yeah.
That's really impressive. Like, like in music, you have runs,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, because, like a traditional song, right? You have verse, chorus, kind of repetitive. In this band, you'll have like maybe the first verse, chorus, and then they'll go on a jazz run where the trumpet,
they'll have a solo section.
and
yeah,
I'll be like,
yeah.
whoa, this is going, and then it'll bring it back in. And I just thought it was a really cool element to the band.
Yeah,
And I do want to see you
it's a lot of
guys
fun.
live. I want to see.
It's ska music is real accessible. Everybody that's like, most people are like, what's ska? I don't even know. I haven't even heard of it. And then you play them a song that's been kind of famous. They're like, oh, okay, I get it. But ours is more like a what we would call a traditional Jamaican ska.
Okay.
So that goes way back to the 60s.
I think I wrote a description. You ready for your description?
Okay.
You guys added
All
to your
right, all
website.
right. Oh, okay, the one from the website.
Did you write that? Who was that?
No, probably Tony.
Check this
did.
out. It's not a blend. It's a fierce blend of traditional ska, full brass, vintage swing, and global grooves.
Okay.
Pretty
yeah.
accurate?
Yeah. So we play a lot of swing songs too, and some of our originals like "Swing Right, Rudy" and
Swing right, Rudy.
"I Won't Go" are swing songs.
Yeah.
And in fact, "I Won't Go" actually has a "Sing, Sing, Sing" breakdown. If you're familiar with "Sing, Sing, Sing," it's an old
No.
it's a big band.
Okay.
If you heard it, you're like, oh, that's what that is. It's like "In the Mood" or something like that. Have you heard of that song?
I'm in the mood for love.
No, okay.
Simply because you're near me.
There is I'm in the mood for ska, right?
Oh, okay.
They do a remake of that one too, and that was from the 60s. Desmond Decker do that one, but if you heard it, it's one of those typical. Whenever they show in the movies that it's a big band sequence, it's one
Yeah.
of those songs that everybody goes, ah.
Oh, we know. We
Yes.
don't know the name of it, but we know that sound.
Right.
So here's what impressed me about the band as I was looking through the website and the different members of the band. Correct me if I'm wrong. Every single member is also a member of another band.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
you are Los Hooligans, but you're also Fat Penguin.
I'm in a band, yeah, and that's actually my band. That's the one I started.
Oh, okay. So who's in
and
that with
so
you?
that right now, actually, 4 of the guys are also that are in Fat Penguin. We're all in Los Hooligans.
Oh, okay.
So our current lineup and is me, Frank Zamora, who plays saxophone.
Yes.
Ray Gonzalez is our drummer, and now Tony Luna, who's a trumpet player and leader of Los Hooligans,
Yeah.
is going to be playing bass with us. But because Fat Penguin is very simple cover songs, and he's just learning how to play bass, and I was like, yeah, just hit the root chord, let's do it. So
Sweet. Now, do you
yeah.
guys cover reggae, or what kind of songs do you cover?
Anything that that tickles our fancy. So like we'll play Bad Bad Leroy Brown, but then we'll play the Lazy Song by Bruno Mars.
Oh, I love that. Are you vocals for Fat Penguin?
Yes. Uh-huh.
And then you share vocals?
Yeah,
for
Tony and I both sing
Los
in
Hooligans.
Los Hooligans, right.
That really impressed me as well, because, sometimes when you have your regular job, right, and
Yeah.
then you're moonlighting something else, you try to take, the simple route and just go, okay, I'll kind of hang in the back and I'll do my... AJ's front and center. When I look at the video, I'm like, oh, he's right up there with Tony, and they're like back and forth.
Yeah.
Like he's not, hiding in the back with a tambourine. He's really...
I really like our duets, and we used to have another singer who moved to Houston. His name is Randy Young, and when we would do 3-part harmony, boy, it really sounded good. I mean,
you guys sound great live. That's really hard to do live. Okay, so here was a what if question.
Okay.
Jim loves these scenarios. He's always like, what if? All right, so check this one out, Jim. What would happen if the Hooligans were given an international headlining tour for a year?
Oh yeah.
Can we pack our bags and put everything else on hold for a year, or would you be like, I'm sorry, guys, I'm out?
Oh, in a heartbeat, I go on the tour.
You're
What are you
gone.
talking about? Yeah, bye.
What's the biggest gig you guys been?
The biggest gig? Let's see. Biggest gig. We opened for the Wailers at the Tower Theater a couple years ago.
Wow.
Oh gosh, maybe it was 5 or 6 years ago, but it was,
Yeah.
it was pre-COVID.
They're like OG.
Oh yeah,
Reggae,
they were just
right?
in town a couple of weeks ago. I went and saw them.
So was it Bob Marley and the Wailers at one point?
At one point, right. And so the current, what they call the original Wailers is only the guitarist, and then all the other people are in their 20s or whatever. They're all
Okay.
just kids. And
Was Peter Tosh?
Peter Tosh was one of the
the
Wailers.
OG?
So Bob Marley, Bunny Wailer,
Yeah.
right? Peter Tosh and Al. I can't pull his last name out, but Al is the guitarist who was playing at the Tower Theater just a couple weeks ago.
Really
Yeah.
cool. And some other bands that you've been able to cross paths with, obviously Let's Go Bowling.
Yeah.
Who else?
The Agrolites was probably pretty big. Hepcat.
Cats. Yeah.
The let's see.
Did you guys get any radio play?
Locally, yeah, from time to time.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I think it'd be surreal to like hop in your car, turn on the radio, and like, there's my song.
Yeah.
There's my
I know, right?
voice projecting at me.
Yes, that's very fun. And so sometimes when people would have a local music radio program, we would get on those from time to time. Yeah.
Here's the other thing that I think might happen to you, but it's just a guess.
Okay.
Your voice is very distinctive.
Thank you.
I can picture you at a local restaurant conversing with your wife or family, what have you, and somebody walked by like, where do I know you from? Like, I know that voice.
Yes.
Does that happen often?
It does. And okay, so a friend of mine who has moved back to California, but from college, and I used to sing in the choir with her. She moved away to Texas.
Yeah.
And was there for 15 years, right? And then came back, and we had this little reunion. We were at the Yard House, and a friend of ours who was also in the choir at Fresno State, and we all were getting ready for dinner, and then she goes, "Oh yeah, by the way, somebody's probably going to come up and ask AJ for his autograph." And she doesn't know.
Yeah.
She didn't see me coming up in television at all.
Oh,
Right?
Yeah.
Has no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, knows that this is what I do.
Yeah.
But just like had no idea that people would say hi to me or anything.
Yeah.
And some kid comes up and asks for his autograph. And my first friend that told you couldn't hear for her rolling her eyes was so loud that you couldn't hear the kid ask me for my
Love
autograph. It was like, oh my God,
man.
here we go. And my friend that she told was like laughing. She goes, I thought you were kidding. She's like, no. Oh
This
my
happens.
God.
This is a thing. No, and deservedly so. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. If you guys want to see more of AJ Fox, there are plenty of places to go. First off, you have KC24. How often would we see you? Daily? Monday through Friday?
Yeah, Monday through Friday. Although when football season comes on, they switch us to Sunday through Thursday. So we have a newscast that immediately follows or shortly after all the football stuff. Yeah.
Also, the Spanish, they want to hear you in
Right.
Spanish. Where do
Yeah.
they have to go?
That's on our website. So if you go to yourcentralvalley.com, or even if you type in kc24.com, it'll take you there. And I also put it on my Facebook. You can just scroll down. All of my social media is AJ Fox WX.
Okay, AJ Fox WX.
WX is shorthand for weather.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, in TV code.
Okay.
So when you write it down, you don't write WEATH because you can get a cramp doing that. WX, right? So,
WX.
yeah.
Okay. Also, we can find you on stage with the Hooligans at some point. Los Hooligans.
Right now we don't have anything scheduled, but we're planning to play some this year.
Okay. And radio, where can we find you in radio?
K-Jug in Tulare.
K-Jug in Tulare.
Yep, that's 106.7 and 97.5. These are all South Valley stations. Basically, all the Gruppetti group. Yeah.
And if we wanted to watch the latest segment of On the Map,
Also, you can go to yourcentralvalley.com/on the map if you want to skip there. But if not, you go to the website and there's a community tab. Pull down, and then On the Map is on the community tab.
okay, we're going to add that link as well. Any other things that we missed there that you were currently part of? There's a lot of AJ Fox out there.
Yeah, talking about it, boy.
We got the radio.
Seems like I'm pretty busy.
Are you getting tired just talking about it?
Right? I'm just trying to prep for school. Fresno State starts on August 20th, and I'm teaching there in person, and I'm still teaching
Really
at
cool.
Reedley College online. Let's see. Yeah, I'm getting set up for my one online class that I'm teaching at Fresno State. So I'm re-recording all of my lectures.
Okay.
So that because all of my classes are always asynchronous, meaning that they can watch the lectures whenever they want to. The only thing that's firm is the deadline. So
Love
you can
that
do it whenever you
technology.
want to. Yeah, 24 hours a day. It's open all the time. Just turning things in on time. That's it.
Well, we're going to jump ahead
Okay.
and be the first, right, Jim, to congratulate you on 30 years.
Oh, thank you very much.
30 years. Hey, we were the first
appreciate
to do it. Thank you, AJ, for coming in.
My pleasure, man. Thanks for having me. And I'm sorry to make you guys sit in the heat, but
No, I'm totally, I didn't feel anything because.
yeah, no, I feel comfortable. Well,
No, I wasn't excited at first because I knew the heat was coming, but
Yeah.
now that I'm here with
Hey,
you.
he's the one that said, evenings is going to be cooler. So
Yeah.
it's
and he was right.
Yeah.
He was right. So from James Chance, AJ Fox, this is Rob Izquierdo saying love, peace, and chicken grease. We out.